Hey guys, and welcome to Janet being Janet. Okay, Miss Katie uploaded a video that's all about Miss Tay Tay, and you know over here on this channel that's what we talk about is Taylor Swift, because Miss Katie don't like America's Sweetheart. So I'm gonna start this out as always reading to you, and then we're gonna just jump right into this video. Does that sound good? I think it sounds good to me. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, let's go. Hi, besties. Blake Lively is in big trouble because her former bestie and dragon has given up the receipts to Justin Baldoni. While news circulates about a subpoena being withdrawn, the truth is Taylor gave up information voluntarily about Blake's extortion of her to either support Blake or Taylor's text will be exposed. Before you go, please help the channel by doing me a favor. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your besties, and make sure to sound off below. Love you, besties. Katie Joy. And I have one of her replies that I want to read to you real fast because I got a little bit of a chuckle, so I figured I'd share it with you. I don't claim to be first. That's not the point for me. I ensure that my reporting provides information that is not just regurgitated. Reporter, Miss Katie. Okay, no, I have not seen this video all the way through. No, I don't know what it's about. But yes, we are going to talk about Miss Tay Tay because apparently Miss Katie may get her text messages. So Miss Katie's on cloud 9. She's just so excited. You know, she got that little kitty in her voice. So we're going to listen to it, okay? Yeah, y'all. I'm going to be here with you, so don't worry.
Hi, besties. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. When Taylor Swift wrote the song My Tears Ricochet, she spoke at an interview and discussed how the song was about friendship. Even though the song appears to be about a breakup, she said it's about friendship.
Why aren't you on this? This is your case, ain't it, Miss Katie? I think it is your case because you know more than anybody else and you're first to it, right? So you should know what the song is about.
And how when you first meet a friend, they are your best friend and you have rose-colored glasses on and you have no idea that in the end, 10 years down the line, you might be destroying one another and you can hurt each other because you know exactly how to hurt that person because you know all of their secrets.
Miss Katie, you got a mirror in front of you right now, right? I think you do, because I think you're talking to yourself. You do that quite a bit, but the only thing comes to mind is Amy Duggar.
And that once you end, you'll go to lengths to make the other person look terrible. Knowing that the song itself is about friends destroying friends, it's quite ironic that this was a song that was selected by Sony, aka Blake Lively, for the film It Ends With Us.
Why? Y'all know I ain't on either side of this. This is all about Miss Katie over here. That's all it's about. And it's entertainment purposes only, Miss Katie. I'm just having fun on YouTube. All right, Miss Katie? You understand that, Miss Katie? All right. But you know what? If it fits the plot of the movie, then they can use the song. Yeah, obviously, you didn't crap about it before, so it should be just fun.
And that song by Taylor Swift was at the heart of the dispute about so much of what happened in the post-production of It Ends With Us in the dispute over creative control where Blake hijacked the film from Justin Baldoni.
Now, Miss Katie, I'm directing this just at you. Quit repeating yourself. If people are into this case, then they have followed your videos. They have listened to your videos. I listen to your videos on Miss Tay Tay just because it's fun to listen to your videos and it's fun to do this. But quit repeating yourself.
According to court records. And Taylor Swift's involvement in the film was not as clear to Justin Baldoni because Blake was using Taylor as leverage.
Woman, you better get it right. Blake was using Taylor as a dragon.
And because Justin and Wayfair didn't have a direct connection to Taylor, they had to understand, was Taylor involved? Was Blake lying? We need to get these facts.
What she's actually saying is we need to get these texts. I want to read the text. I'm about to read the text. I'm going to put it on my channel. I'm going to get ching.
We need to know what Taylor knew. And so they subpoenaed Taylor.
Are you realizing that she's using the word we? We, as in her, being included in this. Have y'all caught on to that?
And with the subpoena came some outrage. Because not only did they subpoena Taylor, but they also subpoenaed Taylor Swift's attorneys.
Yep, I know all about that. Every single bit of it. Why? Because I watched your previous videos.
And Taylor Swift's attorneys last week filed a motion to quash.
Y'all, we're going to hear that word a lot. You want to know why we're going to hear that word a lot? It's her favorite daggum word. Thought. That's what I was going to say. We got twisted. Their words are supposed to come out, but I call them a Texas twist when they get stuck.
They said that it was unnecessary. They had no relevant information. They didn't even know what they were looking for. It was unduly burdensome. They could get this information from Blake's team. And then Blake's team filed in and said, you can't get this information because it's privileged and you'd be invading our privacy.
You're not worried about privacy whenever it comes to Blake's side. You're only worried about privacy when it comes to Tay-Tay, right? Tay-Tay is who she talks about. She talks about Miss Taylor Swift, and she will say America's sweetheart, but my Miss Tay-Tay. So we just go ahead and take that from her.
And then they filed a letter, Blake's team, into the court in a completely different jurisdiction in New York, even though the motion to quash was filed in D.C., and told the judge in New York, hey, judge, we're going to go quash this subpoena that you can do nothing about.
I need to do tally marks on how many times she says that word. I'm telling you, it's her favorite word.
Which then got a response from Brian Friedman, because in the letter that Blake's attorney sent, they basically told the court that Brian Friedman was seeking information that was irrelevant and doing it to basically harass people.
Miss Katie, some people say that you do that especially when you're covering sister wives over and over again. Yeah, I don't cover you constantly. I have somebody else that is just as manipulative.
Brian Friedman responded by telling the court that he was in good faith discussions with Taylor's attorneys at the time, and he was in hopes of obtaining information from them that may make the subpoena moot and the need to quash it irrelevant.
Do you hear how she dragged it out? Her words, because she can't find them. She's trying to think and talk at the same time, but she won't edit.
He said that he was looking for information specifically regarding information he had received from a source connected to Taylor that had said and alleged that on February 14th, a source came to him from Taylor's camp. We don't know who.
Ooh, it's a source. It's a source. Miss Katie, are you jealous? I think you're jealous because all the sources are supposed to come to you, aren't they? Even the anonymous ones. Those are the ones you like the best, right? Because you ain't got to show any proof. Ha!
And let them know that Taylor had been threatened by Blake Lively and that Blake wanted Taylor to put out a statement of support for Blake.
Go ahead, put more emphasis on that, because I think you did it good enough.
After the Super Bowl, where Blake was not in attendance, and she wanted everyone to know that she and Taylor were still friends. And
ma'am, what is your problem with the Super Bowl? What is your problem with Taylor and Blake being at the Super Bowl? What is your problem with football games? Are you jealous? I think you're jealous that you're not going. I really do. I think you just got a little bit of a jealousy bone.
She threatened Taylor, apparently, allegedly, according to Brian Friedman.
Ooh, you better throw that word in there, because you know what? Anything I say is alleged. Yeah, anything you hear on here is alleged, because most of it comes from Miss Katie.
That if she didn't put out this statement, she would release 10 years of text messages between her and Taylor and destroy Taylor's life.
From what I understand, her just being friends with Blake at this point is going to destroy her. Yeah, and you're going to point it out, aren't you?
My tears ricochet. Well, all that got struck, and Blake's team rejoiced and called Brian Friedman abusive.
Hey, I don't think you're supposed to use words like that, but I keep leaving them in. You want to know why I leave them in? It's because, for whatever reason, you get away with it.
The court scolded him and said he would not be sanctioned, but that did not stop Blake's team from filing for sanctions this week, even though the judge said he would not sanction them.
Go ahead and tell them, layman terms, they got booted.
Just a moment ago, the attorneys representing Taylor Swift filed a motion to withdraw their motion to quash and told the court that at this point, the request was moot, and they asked it to be withdrawn without prejudice.
Okay, so here's my idea. All right, here's my thought process. Y'all ready for this? I think she gets these documents. I think she reads all the documents herself, and then whenever she gets up, I don't know if she writes a script or not. She may, I don't, and everything just flows out of my mouth. And I prove that. But I don't know if she writes a script or not. So whenever she gets lost or she wants to make her videos longer, I'll tell you 100 times over, when she wants to do that, then she will read and read and read. And it's annoying. Look at her comments. They don't like it. She read the legal papers. That's what she did. So I put them on the screen for you to read at your own pace.
So it's official. It has been withdrawn. Prior to the court document being filed in court, this was served on all parties, and this got leaked to the media via the Daily Mail.
Ooh, that place makes you mad. That one makes you mad because they will take your stories and not give you any credit. And ooh, it ticks you off.
Page 6 and basically every outlet. There was numerous statements given. So let's kind of talk about why was it withdrawn.
If she goes to read this entire article, yeah, it's early. If she goes to read this entire article, then I'm just going to post it up there like I always say I do. You want to know why? Because I trust y'all. She don't trust her audience.
So the information is coming from either Justin Baldoni's side or Blake's side.
And Miss Katie wants to have all the sources, and she gets upset when she don't.
And both sides, only one has gone on the record. The other is a source that's talking to Deadline and to Daily Mail.
How's that getting you? Huh? How's that working out for you? Now, I thought you had the private source. Did you share a source with somebody? Is that possible, Miss Katie? Because we never have proof of who your source is. You always get them just, boom, out of thin air.
Which appear to be the go-to places where people want to leak information.
Miss Katie, it's tabloids. That's what you do in tabloids. I don't call them news. I call them tabloids. I can't talk. Yep, she was just reading again. I tell you, Miss Katie.
He did kind of hint to the court that, like I said, they were in good faith discussions.
Like you say, over and over and over again, and it gets really annoying.
And they said sending a subpoena to Taylor, and Taylor's response has provided Baldoni's team with everything that they needed. Taylor stated that she was not involved at all, and that is in stark contrast to what Lively has said.
Imagine that, Blake Lively being a liar. Oh my goodness gracious. How can we ever prove that, Miss Katie? Huh? Aren't you on top of this? Really? You're supposed to be saying no, ma'am. No, ma'am, Blake. You can't do that. Miss Taylor's good, but you don't like America, sweetheart. Wow, she's shocked by something. Ooh, she didn't know something. Oh my goodness. She's behind on times, guys. She is. She's supposed to know everything about this. I'm telling you something here.
Taylor was always considered to be the smoking gun in this, and everyone is extremely pleased with the end results and the information it yielded. They got exactly what they were hoping for and much more.
Now, I don't know if she's reading this. I don't know if she's finally putting her opinions in there, but she sure as crap isn't putting any of this in layman's terms for her audience. So I guarantee you there's some of them that's confused. They got to use Google.
So they're claiming they now have documented evidence.
Documented. Is that text? Go ahead and say text. You can say text, Miss Katie.
For court that backs up that Blake's attorneys threatened to leak Taylor's text messages.
Do we need to start tally marks on that too? Huh? Because I think we've gotten that one more than once in this video. Miss Katie, come on, get on the ball.
That's wild.
And, whoa, that just happens to be our famous reporter, our favorite reporter. Goodness gracious, listen to her.
They have to have it or they wouldn't put out that statement. And it's not even a statement, so it's an insider. So someone within the legal team is talking to Daily Mail, obviously.
And they're obviously not talking to you, and you don't like it, do you, Miss Katie? No, you don't.
So Lively's team, of course, is gaslighting and ignoring that. And they say, we are pleased that Justin Baldoni and the Wayfair parties have withdrawn their harassing subpoena to Taylor Swift and her law firm.
Do you get the emphasis when she gets excited because she wants those messages? She's going to be reading so fast, she's going to forget that her channel's name is Without a Crystal Ball, and she's going to put with a crystal ball.
We supported the efforts of Taylor's team to quash these inappropriate subpoenas directed to her counsel, and we will continue to stand up for any third party who is unjustly harassed or threatened in the process.
Miss Katie. told you you're so monotone. I told you you keep getting boring because you're just, and now then you're sitting here and you're raising your voice. You're trying to make it interesting. You're trying this. You're trying that. Hey, you're doing a little bit better, but you got to keep going. Layman terms.
Remember how last week Taylor said that while publicly Blake was pretending that she was doing what was right for her and had her back, and she was manipulating the public, and privately she was threatening her? That's literally what just happened right there.
And you literally just included yourself into this lawsuit. Us. Not them. Not Taylor. Us. You don't even realize you do it, do you?
She's again pretending like she was protecting Taylor, but she was really, in my opinion, protecting herself.
Oh, I guess for the first time we get an opinion. All right, let's see if this trend keeps going.
Now, Taylor did issue a statement publicly last week, and she said she never set foot on the set of the movie. She was not involved in any casting or creative decisions, and she did not score the film. She never saw an edit or even made any notes on the film, and she did not even see It Ends With Us until weeks after its public release, and was traveling around the globe during 23 and 24, headlining the biggest tour in history.
Ooh, you don't like that. You don't like that. You you don't like that. You get so upset whenever you talk about the Eras Tour. Oh, do you ever? You like to call Blake a mean girl, and you like to call Taylor a mean girl. I think they're being mean to you because they left you out. Did you not get tickets? Did you want to be in the front row of Taylor's show? Is that what you needed to do? Sorry, my blind dog.
And she was one of 19 artists that licensed music, so she had no involvement.
And that just scratches you up, don't it? Mm-hmm, it certainly does, because you want to come down so hard on Miss Tay-Tay, but you're running out of things. I guess you're going to get the text messages, and that's about it.
Apparently, a separate source told Page 6 that they didn't need the subpoena because apparently Taylor's team and Taylor handed over what they needed, thus making the subpoena moot, as Brian Friedman said was a possibility moving forward, that they were working in good faith with Taylor's side.
Miss Katie don't want the text messages just from Blake and Taylor. No, that's not what she wants. She wants all of them. She wants the juicy of Taylor's relationship. She wants to know what's going on there. Miss Katie, now come on, stay in your own sheets.
So they have withdrawn the subpoena, and naturally Blake's side is calling this a win because she's standing up for the friend that wants nothing to do with her.
Blake is just trying to save face, Miss Katie. That's all she's trying to do. She's just trying to say, hey, I got a friend out there, because obviously she ain't got none left. Taylor left her. And she's kind of like you.
The biggest issues for Taylor Swift come at the end of the film, or at the end of the post-production when they were going through the editing. And if now they're saying that Blake lied about this.
They're just now saying Blake lied? Just now? So what have you been doing over the past week saying Blake is a liar? What have you been doing?
And lied about Taylor's involvement. It's a way to poke holes in her credibility. So if she lied about Taylor, why couldn't she be lying about the sexual harassment?
Why can't you say SH? It's simple. Don't say them words. Leave them words out of there and say SH, and it'll be just fine.
And if she lied about Taylor not wanting the composer, and we need to fire the composer if Taylor's going to license her song, I don't know. But Taylor's name came up on May 2nd in the timeline of relevant events.
Oh, so she became relevant at that time. Before then, she wasn't, was she? You like to say you listened to her music. You don't.
And in it, they said, while Lively is holding the film hostage in the edit room, she is simultaneously stalling the film's marketing by refusing to approve key materials, including the trailer release. With less than 3 months until the film's premiere, Sony becomes increasingly alarmed about the delayed rollout of the trailer.
Miss Katie, I don't know when you're reading and when you're not reading, but I think you're reading all this. So because you're reading, I'm just going to put it on the screen so I ain't got to listen. Why do I not know where you're at this moment? I'm trying to read and you're not even letting me read this because you're bouncing all around. So you're trying to do reading and opinion at the same time. You need to say when you're doing your opinion, Miss Katie.
And Blake is calling Taylor to approve the song. She, of course, just reached out saying she is asking for time with blank, her editor.
Oh, that's what you're reading. You're reading text messages. That's why she's so happy. Ooh, okay.
We know it was conditional on signing the contract, but asking if you will reconsider so Blake can release this trailer and Blake does not change her mind, recalling Taylor Swift.
So do you have Taylor's text messages yet, or do you just have the attorneys, or which ones do you have? That's what you need to be explaining right now, is whose text messages they are. Because I don't think you have Taylor's yet, and those are the ones you won't.
So it would appear that Blake weaponized Taylor Swift as a tool and misrepresented Taylor's involvement publicly in interviews, saying that Taylor was involved every step of the way with her through it all, helped her in so many ways, lent her song.
Hey, come here. Miss Katie. Miss Taylor's helping you, too. Do you understand that? You want to know how Miss Taylor's helping you? You're making video after video on her, and you're making cha-ching. So you need to be thankful for America's sweetheart.
Guided her through so much, right? She used Taylor's editor, all of these things. She name-dropped Taylor all throughout. And Baldoni's side or a source is claiming they got what they wanted, they got what they needed. Now there's evidence, and they prove that that Blake lied about Taylor.
How many times are you going to call Blake a liar in one video? I think I got it the first time. My audience got it the first time. My people got it the first time. What is up with your audience? If you have to repeat yourself over and over, Miss Katie, you're doing something wrong over there on your channel.
And they've got evidence now of the threats. I thought, it's interesting because, Taylor has not denied these threats, not one time publicly. She's had an opportunity to say a lot, and her reps have not. Instead, earlier today, another conversation came out, and it has to do with Taylor Swift. Again,
I'm guessing this entire video is about Taylor, right? Every single bit of it's about Miss Tay-Tay. Man, we're going to see how much ching-ching views you get. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. I don't even know how many subs you have anymore.
Making it clear that she is done with Blake Lively. So about an hour before news drops that this subpoena was withdrawn, an exclusive comes out from Daily Mail again.
Again, it wasn't her source. She really don't like it because I'm telling you, I'll repeat myself. She is upset with them over how many times they've used her stuff and not credited her. Whew, that just lights a fire in her.
Who seems to have all the intel these days. But Taylor is...
Did you catch that shade? She was like, there's so much shade. Here's an umbrella. Hey, are you reading? Are we reading? I'm watching. Are we reading, or are you doing reading and opinion? You need to keep them two separate. Because if you're going to confuse your audience, they're going to quit watching you. Stop doing that.
Although there have been good times during their relationship, the issues now concerning the Baldoni case have outweighed them. When Taylor looks back at their friendship, she realizes it wasn't worth all the stress Blake put her through.
How much did you do to Amy? How much did you out on Amy? I remember you getting in trouble with the whole Amy situation, and you threw her under that bus where she went chunk chunk over it once, and you went chunk chunk over it twice.
She can now see all the red flags that should have been a warning to her. Taylor had to tone Blake down all the time because she always wanted to be the leader of the pack.
Lady, I watched another video talking all about how Miss Blake got herself the position she got herself in. Her being an actress, her doing this, her doing that. So you know what? I get more information than other people because they don't sit around reading court papers all day.
Taylor's relieved the relationship is over. She put up with Blake's antics for too long because she's a loyal friend. It took the "it ends with us" drama to finally get her to pull the trigger on it.
Hey, I got another question, all right? So you said in that little comment that you don't like to regurgitate information, right? You're not exactly first, but you don't like that. Why are you reading their page 6, and why are you reading Daily Mail? And why? Because that's their information. So you are regurgitating it. Why am I having an issue? Nope, I don't know.
And it's also understood that her boyfriend is out too. And it says Taylor and Travis are disgusted with Blake and Ryan and how they've tried to use Taylor in their fight against Justin Baldoni.
So now you got a problem with Travis? What did Travis do to you? Do y'all hear how she's saying, Travis? Travis? I don't know if that's jealousy or what. You guess. Hey, I got a comment section. Y'all hit it.
They're vowing their break from the acting couple is permanent. Okay, did you hear that? Taylor are disgusted with how Blake and Ryan are using Taylor.
Lady, I got it the first time, got it the second time, and I'm going to get it the third time. I think I'm done.
In her fight with Justin. Not that Justin's using Taylor. It's that Blake and Ryan are using Taylor. Have you seen Taylor Swift defend Blake one time during this process?
No, but why are you all of a sudden going Taylor Swift? You have an issue with her. Is it because you're not as nice as her? But you say that nobody's perfect. That's what you say. Nobody's perfect. So she doesn't need to be called America's sweetheart now, does she? That's what lights your fire.
No. Have you seen her put out issue a statement defending Blake? No. She has spoken a lot about being used for clickbait, but not.
Clickbait. Miss Katie needs a mirror. She's always talking about herself.
By who? They have zero interest in ever being friends again with them. They're done. Because of the way that the court is set up, anything that they have right now, as far as evidence that is not revealed in a court filing, whether it's in the complaint itself or a part of a motion for like summary judgment or...
Lady, you are sitting on your computer. You're refreshing to see if you can get a hold of her text messages, and they're driving you crazy because that's the one thing you want. You don't want none of these other ones. You want Taylor's, and you want to know about her and Travis.
If something gets brought to the court in terms of like a motion to compel or quashing a subpoena like we've seen, we don't know what is being produced in discovery. And we don't know, and we're not privy to the details beyond what's in the court complaint.
Oh my goodness, you can only report on what's on the papers? Those legal documents? Those are the only things you can report on? You're going to find something else.
And because the judge made a very specific rule in the very beginning that they were bound by Rule 3 when Blake's side issued a gag order, they're bound by the professional code of conduct when it comes to trial publicity. So,
hey, you're at least putting the law up there on the dagblame screen. Because you like to spit out all these daggum numbers, and we're just like, why? Why? You don't explain nothing, so you put it up there on the screen. So is this one going to be something you explain? Probably not.
We are not going to be able to see what is produced or given or provided until it shows up in a document in court.
Ooh, and you so sad about that? And that's just getting you down, ain't it?
And it's because the lawyers that are representing the clients cannot speak about it. What a lawyer can state, according to the American Bar Association, in terms of a case are,
I think she's going to start reading. If so, you're going to see it on your screen.
The claim, offense or defense involved, and except when prohibited by law, and the identity of the person involved. Information contained in a public record so they can speak to what's in a complaint.
Oh my goodness gracious. Give her hand. Give her hand. She broke that down into layman terms. Keep going, Miss Katie. Yeah, I'm being a smart ape.
Or in a motion. That an investigation of a matter is in progress. Requesting a request for assistance in obtaining evidence and information necessary. A warning of danger concerning the behavior of a person involved.
Woman, quit reading. Quit reading. No more reading. We're going to stop that. We're going to stop that. We are not going to do word for word anymore. We are going to say, okay, this is what this means. No more of you thinking you're an attorney and you using these big words because you won't let them go.
When there is a reason to believe that there exists the likelihood of substantial harm to an individual or to a public interest. And that's for a civil case.
See why I can't just put it up there on your screen? Because she's trying to smarten up just a little bit. She's trying to. She ain't there yet.
A lawyer may make a statement that a reasonable lawyer would believe is required to protect a client from the substantial undue prejudicial effects of recent publicity not initiated by the lawyer or the lawyer's client.
You gonna confuse your audience with that? That's one that you're going to, man, I'm going to point these things out to you just to help you out, Miss Katie.
A statement made pursuant to the paragraph shall be limited to such information as is necessary to mitigate the recent adverse publicity.
Y'all can call me a smart donkey's butt. That's okay, because that's what we're doing here.
So they can respond if Blake's side releases information that is adverse to them. But beyond that, they can't release anything that's not already in the record.
Hey, wait, hold up a second. I got a question. Is it the reason why you don't break this down in layman's terms is because you don't really understand it, you just read it? Could that be a possibility, Miss Katie? Don't make me think like that.
So what we don't know is what's happening off record. And I have a lawyer that reached out to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going to get yourself in trouble. You're going to get yourself in trouble. You better stay away from them attorneys. You got enough in your life.
That has been giving me some information that's been very helpful.
Oh, you got an attorney as a source? They supposed to be smart. They supposed to have edumacation. They should know better than talk to you.
And what they told me was that when we look at a lot of the motions that are being filed in court, part of the reason why they're putting so much on paper is because Judge Lehman said that they had to follow the guidelines of trial publicity, and if they didn't, they would get in trouble, and he would move the court date up further.
Why are you talking to another attorney? Why ain't you talking to yours? You pay them enough, don't you? You can get legal advice from them. So why don't you do that? Don't be bringing in anybody else. Because they're going to find out the truth eventually, I guess.
And he said he would sanction them, right? And so with these court filings, they're able to say things and put it in a public record. Thus, the attorney can then publicly discuss it.
Ooh, do-do-do, do-do-do-do. She's gonna get the messages and she's over the moon.
Okay? So if they want to say something about Baldoni, they can file a motion and put it on public record and then release a statement to people. But until they file that motion and they add that information, they can't say it. So until and when a motion is made about...
You know what? You know what? When? She wants them now. She's impatient. Miss Katie, you're going to have to go through the legal system over here too.
A summary judgment or some other document that comes up about Taylor Swift.
She loves saying that name. Every time she says that name, it's ching ching.
What they produced, they cannot discuss. And what he's produced thus far relating to possible extortion or witness tampering or threats or any of that, he cannot disclose.
Would you just be honest with people? Just be honest and just let them know. I'm waiting on one thing. I'm actually waiting on multiple things. And when I get them, I'm going to out them all over my channel. Just let them know that that's what you're on pins and needles about. Them texts are just driving you insane. I can hear it in your voice.
Until trial. Also, we don't know what he's receiving on his end from other witnesses. We don't know what they're receiving from other cooperating witnesses because, again, subpoenas are only necessary if someone doesn't want to cooperate.
You're not calling them sources. Don't you usually call them sources when new information comes up or anything like that? You call them sources. So we're not on sources anymore? Good.
If someone's willing to participate in discovery and speak to you, they don't need to be subpoenaed. They don't have to be compelled. Usually a subpoena is issued when someone doesn't necessarily be adverse to complying.
Oh, you know all about this, don't you? Don't you? You actually know what this means from your court case. Oh, you do? You want to know how I know that? Because you're not tripping over your words. Them words ain't getting stuck up in your mouth.
So then they have to put it into a court order. But if you willingly agree to help and provide documents, no subpoena is necessary.
You know what? I don't know that my videos are this long are necessary or not, but whenever you talk about Miss Tay-Tay, we are all over Miss Tay-Tay videos.
And Blake's side then can't intervene. So if this was fruitful for them and it got them what they needed, good for them. If Justin's team is able to show that Blake mischaracterized information to them and lied to them about Taylor's involvement.
And you've already said she did, so why are you saying if? So it's not a fact now. See, you get confusing.
There is question about her credibility as a witness. Other details and evidence that are currently involved in this case are also in question because when it comes to text messages that Blake Lively introduced into her evidence, which haven't actually been provided to the court, they're in a complaint.
Oh! No, they're not going through court yet, Miss Katie. I'm telling you, she's just over there. She biting her nails. We know she bites her nails when she gets nervous and she gets frantic and stuff like that. She bites her nails. She's over there biting her nails, just waiting. Oh, she's just waiting. She's like a little kid. She's in a candy store and Mama ain't said go yet.
But text messages are actually hearsay unless the text message is between you and the party or you're the author of this document, right? So if you sent the text message and it's between you and someone else, it's easier to admit into court. Otherwise, it has to go through an authentication process.
Do you hear how fluent she is in this and how she's talking through it? It's because she's been looking it up.
Where Blake has to tell the court how she got these text messages. She also has to prove the authenticity of if these have been altered or not. We already know there's going to be a debate on the authenticity of these text messages that she got through that subpoena, the banned sham subpoena.
You do understand that people sometimes when you post like your text messages up there, because that's how you out your friends sometimes. You go over to Insta and you paste them all over. You'll paste text messages, you'll make posts, you'll do all kinds of things over there. I would do an Instagram video for y'all because it gets pretty funny over there, but I don't know if y'all would be interested in hearing it because that's all I'd be doing is showing it to you. So I don't know. Y'all let me know.
And motions in order to exclude evidence don't come up until way later on as we get closer to trial. And they have to file a motion in limine, which is a motion to exclude evidence.
Oh, she learned a big word and she decided I know this big word now, so my audience needs to know this big word now. Mm-hmm.
And then they get a chance to fight in court about that. So right now, authenticating text messages is a huge thing. Text messages also can be removed due to hearsay. And because Blake is actually not involved in any of the text messages that she provided to the court, there's going to be some big hurdles for her to climb.
Emphasis on big. You don't know what's in these text messages, Miss Katie. All you're doing is speculating.
But with Blake's case kind of falling apart now because Taylor Swift is basically saying she wasn't involved.
And you have known that from the beginning, haven't you? Yes, you have. You've said it yourself.
Taylor is saying, I don't want to be your friend anymore, and I wish I didn't know you.
Should I tag my other video in here when she was calling Taylor a mean girl? I may need to do that at the end.
And new details now coming out about Blake's own business that she had under the company Preserve, which had its own legal problems. It actually begs and sort of opens up even more questions.
Miss Katie, I have a lot of questions about you begging. Have a lot of questions about you and all these papers. I have a question about you sleeping. I have a question about how many hours you put in. I have questions about all of it because you post all night long.
Okay, because Blake's side is suing Justin for a hostile work environment, right? And they're also arguing, Blake's side, that he, as a part of this alleged smear campaign...
Do you understand what I'm saying? She's talking about Blake right now, okay? About Blake. But the person she's putting on the screen is Taylor. Using that picture, using that name, using certain words, she's going to get them clicks and views.
Worked to bury stories that were negative to Justin, right? That were negative to Justin, that they didn't want out or were negative to the film, right? But what we learned in the Preserve case is that they buried information about legal action filed against a workplace, an employer.
You're tripping over that. Come on, Miss Katie. We need it to just flow. If you didn't trip over your words so much, these videos wouldn't be this long. Do you know that? I don't even know if my audience, my people, want to actually watch this or not. I don't know. I guess I'll find out later.
And according to the employees, part of their complaints and issues with the workplace had to do with a toxic and hostile work environment due to Eric Lively's involvement in a sexual relationship.
Miss Katie! Find other words. Just find other words. Yeah, if y'all want me to continue editing out the bad words, put it down in the comments for me, please. If y'all don't mind her and the bad words, I'll leave it in. because I don't care about getting dinged by YouTube. I'm not in it for the ching-ching.
With one of the employees. There was a total of 8 employees, and he was involved in an inappropriate sexual relationship with one.
See, if I don't leave it in, sometimes I'm like, it don't sound like Miss Katie, because Miss Katie's got to be vulgar sometimes. She's got to. And like I say all the time, I don't know how she gets away with it.
And due to the relationship and the conduct of Eric Lively, they made a report to Blake about their concerns about Eric's inappropriate sexual relationship with an employee.
There you go again. We need to come up with a new word. Guys, come up with a new word. We're going to come up with a new word. Because I can't say as usual. You know, because some people won't understand. As usual. So we need to come up with another one. Come on, we can do it.
To which she brushed off. If she happened to force the woman that was involved in a relationship with Eric, and if that woman brought forth a claim of sexual harassment due to that power and...
Lady, you need to do trigger warnings. You need to put it in the beginning. S-H, S-A, S-E-X. You need to put it in the beginning. I got to start doing that. I'm going to put that in my warning in the beginning. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, remember, it's Katie talking, so we don't know what she's going to say. It's probably going to be nasty.
Imbalance or not being consensual or whatever. If she was forced to sign an NDA at this day and age today, due to the Speak Out Act, that NDA is null and void. So if that person did file a claim of sexual harassment and was bound by this NDA,
I'm going to be like an ostrich and I'm going to go put my head in the sand. Because I don't want to repeat myself no more, Miss Katie. Miss Katie, I'm telling you, you're going to have to change yourself. You really are. Because you know what? There's sometimes kiddos in the room. Be respectful.
Under the 2022 law, the Speak Out Act, that NDA is no longer enforceable, especially if it related to sexual harassment or sexual assault.
You say both of them? Both of them. Why? If it don't annoy y'all, my hands. I tell you. Quit using both of them. It's easy. Repeat after me, Miss Katie. S-H-S-A. That's it. Simple.
Now, other parties in the workplace can actually be parties to sexual harassment if Eric was doing any sexual behavior with that woman in front of them.
Okay. So, here's the thing. When she starts doing things like this and saying it over and over and over, I'll leave it in. Because it's not going to make sense to y'all if I keep one word constantly. And by the end, if I think that I can cut them out and it makes sense, then I'll cut them out. But sometimes I don't think it's going to make sense.
So if an employer is dating an employee and then he's kissing that employee in front of others in the workplace, it can create an uncomfortable and hostile environment.
Because employees aren't supposed to get with the bosses, just like students aren't supposed to get with the teachers. We all know this.
Which could actually make it intimidating or offensive for people to be around, especially those that witness it.
Yeah, because you don't like PDA, do you? Oh, wait, you don't ever leave your house.
It can impact their ability to concentrate at work or even feel safe.
When are you going to feel safe enough to get your butt back on this show? On this show? On this screen? Why? When? How? What do we have to do? That's what you need to do. Put your face out there again.
And so if they feel uncomfortable and intimidated or they're not okay with that information or that behavior, it could be either considered a hostile work environment or sexual harassment.
I'm so glad that I don't consider this work. I am so glad that I don't. I'm so glad that I'm just having fun on here, mouthing Miss Katie. But I really am glad, because I wouldn't want to be on my channel saying stuff like this day in, day out. I just couldn't do it. That's not who I am.
Because sexual harassment is actually not limited to physical conduct. It can be verbal conduct, or it can be creating a hostile work environment through suggestive behavior. So if he was being suggestive with that person in front of them, and any of these claims that she settled were related to sexual harassment, and she's binding them by that.
Lady, I did a video when you put some Instagram posts up there, and I had to blank out almost every single picture because of the inappropriateness. And now you talk about this like it's nothing. Just brush it off. That's how you talk about it. I don't see how.
NDA, it's now null and void. So think about that. Blake Lively claims to be a voice for victims, and yet she actually silenced victims.
Are you surprised by Blake Lively and the things Blake Lively did and has done and will do? That don't make no sense, but still, you get the point. I don't understand how you're surprised.
Victims of her hostile work environment that she created. And even though she wasn't in the same room, because it was her business and she was the manager of that business and the CEO.
She was in charge, just like you're in charge of Without a Crystal Ball and your household.
Anything that happens within that business, she is liable for that behavior. And when her business is sued for possible workplace hostility related to sexual harassment because of her...
Woman. Stop it. Stop it. I know you sometimes watch these. I know you do. A little bit of advice. Stop it. See? And then my watch then said, stop it.
Brother, and then she binds them to an NDA. Who's the one actually silencing victims? Is it Blake Lively or is it Justin Baldoni? The Speak Out Act is for victims of sexual assault or harassment.
I will apologize for her right now. I am sorry. I am so sorry. But I'm making a point with this video, and I'm going to upload this video so y'all don't hate me.
And it's so that an employer can't bind them into an NDA. It is not for Stephanie Jones to use and claim that she's allowed to speak out about a smear campaign.
We understand all about the smear campaign, Miss Katie. What does it take to get you off of this subject? Seriously, what does it take? Because I don't know. You're saying it over and over and over like it doesn't bother you, like it's absolutely nothing. And I really don't understand how you're doing that.
That had nothing to do with her and didn't happen. The law isn't for Stephanie. She was the employer and she was the contractor that held the contract.
She was the boss, just like you're the boss of your channel, your household, and everything. You're the boss.
So Stephanie and Blake's lives are falling apart. And finally, one last thing.
Woo! Why did you get up? Woo! What are we gonna get? What are we gonna get? Miss Katie's happy. She's got to have something her way.
Billy Bush released a new text message to expose Stephanie Jones.
You and these daggum names. I don't care who you're talking about. I ain't gonna pay attention to the daggum names. All I'm paying attention to is what you're saying, how you're saying it, and how you're doing this video. That's the point of this.
And so Stephanie Jones, in her recent motion to dismiss, filed this text message.
Ooh, she said something besides squash. Squash. Yeah, that word, not squash. We eat squash.
That was framing Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan as though they were going to war against Stephanie Jones. But the text message that he got from someone...
Miss Katie, we're getting to the end and you're getting boring, you're getting monotone, you're getting... No.
Whether it's Melissa Nathan or whoever, the full text message is not actually about Stephanie Jones. It's about whether or not they were going to release the statement on behalf of Blake and Ryan. That ridiculous, awful statement.
And you have a text message put up there on the screen, and it still even has a cuss word in it. So I guess none of your audience have little kids when they listen. I guess not, because I wouldn't want my kid listening to this. My kids ain't nowhere around me because I do this early in the morning and late at night.
And Melissa said, any word on a statement? And Jennifer Abel says, a big giant fuck you no.
Ah! You're gonna come with the trigger warning. You are. I'm gonna put my old intro on here just for you, just on this one, because you won't stop.
Thank fucking God.
I give. We got a Miss Tay-Tay video, and then we got all these customs at the end. She usually does right at the end, but I think she's gonna mess this one up.
We are going to war. I feel so alive. Ha, 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 ha. And then Melissa says, going out of JW with a bang. BF is in mediation, by the way. I asked his assistant. Okay, copy.
Hey, Miss Katie, I can read. Most people on here, they can read. They tell you in the comments all the time they can read. Well, why don't you read them more?
So she's saying they're not going to have them release the statement. They're going to be going to war with Blake and Ryan because they know by not releasing that statement, they're going to get sued and they're ready. And then Melissa says that she's working with getting them in touch with Brian Friedman at that moment.
You know, people ask me if you're going to get sued. I don't know if you're going to get sued. I don't know what you're allowed to say and what you aren't allowed to say because you say a lot over on your channel.
So it has nothing to do with Stephanie Jones. It's just that they're leaving Stephanie Jones with a bang, and she's leaving Jones Works with a bang because her clients, Wayfair, are going to end up getting sued by Blake and Brian.
Hey, Miss Katie, let me help you out. Bang! Bang! That was too plain.
Because they refused to release a statement. So, what are your thoughts about these latest developments? The withdrawal?
Hey, I'm giving you my thoughts right now, so you better leave my channel alone. Okay? Well, me and you are in agreements on this. I'm giving you my thoughts. You ask, I give.
Do you believe the sources that they got what they needed and they have the evidence that Blake did extort Taylor Swift and everything is on par because the information was provided and they cooperated?
Well, if they don't need an order, a motion, subpoena, if they don't need any of that anymore, I kind of think that one's taken care of.
Or do you believe Blake that it was all about harassment and intimidation and he was shot down by the judge?
See, I told you there at the end. That's when she comes alive. I don't understand it, Miss Katie. I don't get it. Go from the beginning to the end. That's all you gotta do.
And what do you think about Taylor saying, I can't believe I was ever friends with her and I wish I never met her?
All I can think is Amy. Y'all know Amy. Y'all know what happened with Amy. Got a video on that. That's years ago, though.
Tell me in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. And just remember, they got what they needed. Blake Lively is a liar. Bye, besties.
So over and over and over and again, we heard Blake's a liar. I get it, and so do you. Miss Katie, you're annoying. You are just downright absolutely annoying. Sometimes you need to take my suggestions and you need to understand that not everybody wants to be lectured, because that's what you do over on your channel. You start lecturing people about the law. And you ain't a lawyer. So don't try to talk like a lawyer. And these people who say that they understand you so well, do they really? Because you have to repeat yourself over and over and over and over. If they understood it, you wouldn't have to repeat yourself. It wouldn't be a problem. But I have to repeat myself because you repeat yourself. And it's annoying. And it takes me longer to edit. Okay, guys. Y'all aren't giving me any feedback on these longer videos. Nope. And if you're interested in them, let me know. Because Blake ones, I will do. Not Blake ones. Yeah, well, of course it's going to be Blake. But Tay ones. Those are the ones I want to do. Because she uses Taylor's name for clicks and views. Uses the pictures for clicks and views. And when she starts out, she always starts out with a little segment of, an interview or an episode, or she always does that. I edit all of that out. But as soon as you click on there and you see Taylor plastered everywhere, we already know what we're going to get into. So there's my video for the day. I hope you enjoy it. You may not. But if you ain't already, you can go subscribe to me. I don't know how often I'll bring you Miss Katie videos, but, sometimes we just get little jewels like this. Sometimes I edit. I don't know what I'm going to do from day to day, and y'all know that. But I want y'all to have a good day, night, weekend, holiday, year, whenever you might be watching this. And remember to smile today. Or make somebody else smile, because it really can make a change in your life if you go to the mirror. Yeah, I changed that one up, but I'm telling you, go to the mirror, smile at yourself, because you're worth having a smile on your face and having a happy day. So y'all make sure that you do that for me right now. All right, guys. Bye.
Hold my beer.
A lot of the things that I do report on this channel actually are the facts. I'm Satan, basically.
I understand that as a public figure, my job means that I will be criticized, and I am fine with that. Bull crap, okay? I don't care if you talk about me. I don't care if everyone talks about me. No. Talk about me. I talk about people all the time. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like what I do. You can monetize the hell out of me. I don't care. Talk about me. She's a nasty, vile human being that needs to be held accountable.